eine absolute Weltpremiere auf meinem Kanal. Der erste Gast, den ich auf Englisch interviewen werde. Und deswegen, ja, switchen wir auch gleich mal die Sprache. Und yeah, this was a world premiere on my show. The first guest I talked to in English. And who could be a better fit than the real king of the North, Shem Rock. Shem, welcome to the show.
Guten Tagen.
Yeah, that was a good try. Guten Tag in the end. But you're improving your German.
You know, I need to get a bit more fluent for when I come over for the German fans, don't I?
Yeah, that's a nice hint because I heard Andre Novotny saying in its podcast that probably you will fight in April again, which means, or does it mean it will be your comeback to Oktagon MMA?
Obviously, lad, I'm looking to get busy. March, April times. I'm fit. I'm healthy. I'm ready to go. You see me online. I'm calling out half of the roster every single other day. If you see me stories, it's the problem is most of these guys don't want to fight me. I'm ready to go. Whoever wants it can get it, but we just need to get a dance partner for me, basically.
Yeah, and you're a good dance partner for the fans because of the fights you've shown at Oktagon, and but a lot of the fans thought you were waiting or sitting out on a UFC offer. They have a show on 22nd of March in London, your home country. Was that the case?
I'm sure if I was on UFC London, the Shem show would blow the roof off the gaff. Everyone in the whole fucking MMA community of Europe knows who I am, especially this is my territory. It'd be something big, wouldn't it? But as it stands right now, I'm an Oktagon fighter. I'm happy to be an Oktagon fighter. I'm proud to be with the company. The company look after me well, treat me good. But obviously, if the UFC want to come and talk to me and put an offer on the table and it's official, I'd have to sit down and take it serious because they are the big hitters, aren't they? They're the big boys in MMA. But as of right now, I've had no offer, no official offer.
And it would, in the end, it would be no shame in leaving for the UFC. And there are a lot of contracts out there which have the UFC clause in the end to get to the pinnacle of the sports and be part of the big league. I would say don't want to criticize Oktagon for anything else. It's a big promotion and a really good promotion in the end. But keep going.
I've had it in the past where obviously I was with Oktagon, my contract was done. I had the opportunity to re-sign with Oktagon. There was a lot of other promotions, your big other, you know who I'm talking about. I think personally, the only people that could maybe make me think twice would be the UFC. No one else doesn't interest me. I'm happy where I am. I'm happy with what I'm getting. I'm happy with who I'm fighting. I'm happy with how I'm being treated. So I'm proud to be an Oktagon fighter, and I'm proud to be especially the face of the UK side and putting Liverpool on the map in a promotion that had no Scousers in it. So I'm happy, lad. The only thing that could maybe make me look would be the UFC.
But in the end, how big are the chances? You got management around there, and you've seen, or people have seen someone being called up short notice for these events. But in the end, you must be closer to just hoping for it, or is it just the case of hoping the UFC could call?
I think obviously you look at the gym I come out of. Everyone in there is now signing to the UFC. We got top 15 guys in the UFC. Molly, who's a big star, Nathan Fletcher, Liam Gittins, Cage Warriors champion, Luke Riley. Like, that's the path for everyone in my gym, and I'm sure if I wanted to be there, if I put my mind to it, make no doubt about it, I'd be there. But I'm happy with Oktagon, lad, and the UFC haven't come and spoke to me, and they've gave me no offers. So I deal with what's in front of me, and what's in front of me right now is I'm signed. I've got 2 fights left on my contract. I'm hungry. And I'm just looking for more finishes. Whoever wants to get in there with me and test their skills against me, let's go.
But you were supposed to fight in December, right? On the
Yeah,
Prag
December
show.
29.
And that fight fell short because of what in the end?
I think that fight's cursed because I was supposed to fight Bannock on my debut. Bannock got injured. I actually got injured as well for that fight. I dislocated my ribs, but I didn't want to pull out. Then I was supposed to fight him now on December 29th. I tore my subscap on my right shoulder and I tore my hamstring on my left leg. I was still in the gym, showing up, taping it up, pushing through. But it come to the point where I retorn it again near the end, sparring with Paddy. And the coaches just said, look, mate, we're not letting you fight like this. You're not 100%. You can't go in there. And I was gutted, lad. I wanted to show up and I wanted to put a show on for the fans. And I wanted to be on that card because it was a big card. Obviously, you had the lightweight title also getting defended on that card. You had this guy, Banny, who I was supposed to fight on my debut. We had a bit of fucking unfinished business. It would have been a nice end to the year, 3 first-round finishes for the year. And I know for a fact I would have ran through Bannock. No problem, I would have finished him in the first round. But sometimes it's not meant to be. It was something that's out of my control. And that's why you see me just go on holiday to Brazil instead and just rest up and recover. And I'm back now, I'm 100%. I got no injuries, no problems. And if Bannock wants to run it back, we can run it back and I'll smash his head in. Or maybe we can rebook something in Dortmund and I can give the German fans a little show. I've heard there's another German lad looking for an opponent, goes by the name of Conrad. If he wants to go, he can get it. I'm easy.
You've seen Conrad Dyrschka's Instagram reels?
I've seen that. He doesn't want to know me, lad. He's scared. I'll show you. Look, I will show you my DM after this. I've DM'd him so many times saying, yo, do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight?
But why do you think most of the fighters in Oktagon roster are avoiding you? You're such a bad matchup for them in the end?
I think they know the level. They see the guys I'm training with. They see the gym we come out of. They see like who wants to go in there and fight a guy who's just going to finish it in the first round, and then you come out of the fight and you're like, fuck, I didn't even get to hit him. Like I'm taking no damage. I'm finishing these guys, and then not only that, if you get past the grappling, I can strike, bro. I can stand with any of them. So it's like, where's their path to victory? It's hard for them, and I understand it, lad. The level I'm at, I'm UFC caliber level, and why fight a UFC caliber athlete when you can fight a lesser guy for the same money and get a guaranteed win? I understand it, bro. I'm dangerous, and I'm ranked number 10. Why would you want to fight a low-ranked fighter for a high risk? I understand it, lad, but instead of just pretending like you don't see me, just say it how it is. If you're scared, just say you're scared, no problem.
But to be fair, the Oktagon roster is not that super deep. If someone is ranked number 10 or even not ranked, there should be fights possible between number 10, number 12, and number 3, in my opinion, because probably they will, they will...
You answer me this, bro. How have I gone from ranked number 4th to ranked number 10th with 3 first-round rear naked chokes in a row? Max Koga is ranked above me. He's had 1 win in the promotion. And let's be honest, he fought a bantamweight and he looked terrible while doing it. The rankings don't... Look, I don't even pay attention to the rankings. I look at them and laugh. Everyone knows who the real deal is, lad. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm the champion. Anyone else can get it.
But to be honest, there was a German fighter who would have fought you with Lom-Ali Eskiev, but you said 2 months of preparation is not enough. In the end,
no, I never said that. Andre said I said 2 months of preparation is not enough. I've been offered to fight Lom-Ali, but I'm on holiday when I'm getting the call. Bro, I'm not fighting anyone while I'm on holiday. I come back from the holiday and I've got 6 weeks. I'm not taking a fight on 6 weeks' notice, lad. I'm not a journeyman. I'm not fucking Soroki or one of these guys. Give me 8 to 12 weeks and I'll fight anyone on the roster. Name any guy ranked or unranked and I will show up and fight them. Just give me 8 to 12 weeks. And they know that, lad. So to say that, oh, I'm turning guys down or, 12 weeks, he said, isn't enough time. Bro, I'm not Lom-Ali, lad. I'll show up. I'll fight any of these cunts. I'll fight Lom-Ali next week, lad. He's not even that good. He's had fucking one win against what? A fucking journeyman Buckinger. They put these guys on a pedestal and think like there's something special. I'm here, bro. Anyone wants it in the roster, I'm here.
But in the end, is there no one in Oktagon who you think is at least a challenge for you?
Who's the challenge? Have you ever heard of that fella, Adam McDonald? Ooh, he's a challenge, him. Yeah.
Yeah, sitting all over there. Yeah, he's already signed, right?
Yeah. To be honest, lad, I'm not going to sit here and start slagging people's skill sets. I do think there is people in the roster who have a good skill set. I think Attila Korkmaz is very skilled. I think Ronnie's gone up. I think he's okay. I think Kate is good. I think Duque is also underestimated and very skilled. I think Lom-Ali is okay as well, but they're not Shem. They're not. Lad, they don't hold a candle to me. I promise you that.
Yeah,
but all in due time, I get to show it.
In the end, to be a unique character, unique fighter is something which is a big part of the sport or of success in this sport. When you say you take your 6 week or you take a vacation and afterwards you need more than 6 weeks, this would not mean I'll fight everybody at any time. That's not possible for some other circumstances, right? And other fighters have other circumstances to.
Yeah, but you've got to think this. When you're offering me to fight on 6 weeks' notice, you're asking me to go 5 rounds with a guy who's had 12 weeks' notice. Give me a 3-round fight on 6 weeks' notice, I'll take it. A 5-round fight on 6 weeks' notice, lad. Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a knobhead, lad.
But
ask anyone. You go and ask anyone in the roster. Would they go and fight me on 6 weeks' notice for 5 rounds? They'll all say, lad, do you think I'm stupid? We might be professional fighters, but we're not idiots, lad. Give me 12 weeks, give me 8 weeks. I'll fight anyone on a 5-round fight. You want me to fight 3 rounds against Lom-Ali, then give me 6 weeks. Okay, I'll take it. But not 5 rounds, lad. I'm not an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, lad.
But in the end, this would mean at least the skill set of Lom-Ali Eskiev is somehow good at a certain point.
I'm not saying Lom-Ali's shit. I'm not saying he's shit. He's good, lad. But he's not me, is what I'm saying. He's not me, lad. None of them are me. And you'll see that eventually, bro. You'll see. I'm not finishing people in the first round by accident.
And as you already mentioned, what would you prefer? Would you prefer just the March dates, the Dortmund show? What would you prefer from your point of view?
I've got 8 weeks now from March, haven't I? So maybe March, maybe April. Who's available is the problem. Is anyone else available at that date? I don't know. So this is why I understand Oktagon have got a really tough job trying to match guys up, because it's finding both guys who are available on that date. And sometimes it's hard, bro. I don't know what's going on with other guys on the roster, who's just fought, who hasn't just fought, who's injured, who's healthy. Looking at the landscape right now, I know Dyrschka's looking for a fight and he's ready to go in Dortmund, so I'm ready to go. I know Lom-Ali's looking for a fight, he's ready to go. Who else is there? Who done well in the Game Changer? Like, most of these guys have publicly said they don't want to fight me, so it's hard. I don't know who I can call who's willing to accept. All these Buckinger and these men don't want to fight me. They've said that, bro. So where do we go from here, lad? There's only like 3 or 4 names who haven't publicly said no, or who haven't already turned me down. There's no point offering guys the same fight over and over again if they're going to say no. Do you know what I'm saying?
Or who are at the moment injured, like Max Koger injury. You went face to face.
He's a bitch, isn't he? Didn't he shit his pants?
I think the fight was already done and booked at that moment.
So why get in the cage then? Because if that was me, I'll get in the cage and say, yeah, I'll fight you. And then I'll announce my next fight and say, yeah, whatever, bro.
Yeah,
on the next one, no.
But I think the question is why you have been still in the cage at that moment. And I think that was a mistake from Oktagon, or a mistake by Oktagon.
Don't know, bro. All I know is he got in the cage and said no. Do you think I'd get in the cage and say no? Never.
Normally not, but he wanted to announce the fight, and that was.
Ask him now. Go and ask him now. Would he fight me? He'll tell you no, or he'll ignore your message. He won't say yeah. He definitely won't say yeah. Oktagon have told me he won't say yeah. So if you don't believe me, ask Andre yourself. Andre will tell you no. This isn't the fight to make. Oh, we don't want it. Bro, these man, when they say they want to fight who they want to fight. Fighting bantamweights, that lightweight, lad. Come on, bro.
So
I don't even think he should be ranked after that fight, lad. It was a load of bollocks.
But we agreed on we're not giving dipshit on the rankings, right? That's not a big thing in Oktagon because there are some fighters. Attila Korkmaz has no contract with Oktagon, for example, no? So he's not.
Isn't he in Oktagon no more?
No, he's free agent.
Sad.
He's free
That's
agent.
sad.
Yeah, but free agent means why not coming back, right? That's still possible. And yeah. But what I wanted to know is your fellow Irishman. I can call him a fellow Irishman, right? Will Fleury.
Yeah.
He went to win the title. What did you make of his performance?
Will Fleury's a G, though, isn't he? He's a G, lad. All of that talk, bro. Calling Vamola out time after time after time. This is what makes me laugh, bro. These guys are like, who are you? Who do you think you are? You don't deserve it. Bro, look at the performance he put on, bro. The referee should have stopped that fight, lad. He nearly killed him, bro. That knee to the head and then he stumbled off. Bro, if that was Mark Goddard in there, that was getting waved off. 100%. But Vamola was tough to survive. I'll give him his due. He put on a good fight. He showed up. But he didn't want that fight. He was so gutted to lose to Will, bro. But anyone who knows Will and anyone who's from this scene, bro, we could see it from a mile off, bro. Canal, I bet the house on that, lad, because I knew. You know how much money I made off that fight, bro? It was easy money, bro. And it'll be the same. Yeah. Look at the roster and tell me who beats this guy now.
I don't know. That's the next question. Do you think he's in a good position against Todev, who's not a super big heavyweight, but Todev is a different kind of heavyweight?
His toughest fights are going to be at heavyweight. No one beats him at light heavyweight, I don't think. This is his toughest test now. And if he wins this and becomes double champ, bro, he stays at the top for a long time, I think. Unless he brings some guys from outside who are really skilled and really dangerous. I don't see anyone on the current roster giving him a lot of trouble. Obviously, small gloves, big guys, it only takes one punch, anything can happen. But if you look at it based on skill set, I think he's the man to beat right now.
Mm-hmm. But is this a conclusion out of our talk that Oktagon needs to not improve the roster a little bit or grow it some bigger? Would this be a big welcome because the promotion is doing more and more shows in Germany, even more than in the Czech Republic and Slovakia? Would this be a good way to go for the promotion? Even if your future maybe not for 10 years with Oktagon.
This is what you got to think also. If we sign more fighters and we have huge, deep rosters, does that mean we have to pay people less to balance everything out? Maybe it's better having a smaller roster and paying the fighters what they deserve. Because I think that's more important at the end of the day. Like, these fighters are putting their life on the line, bro, and people don't see that. After the career, when it's all said and done and you're slurring your words and you're forgetting your daughter's name, lad. The journalists don't see that. No one else sees that. Bro, we have to put up with the fucking looking at lights and getting headaches after fucking having 5-round wars. So I think whatever's best for the fighters and whatever keeps the fighters making the most money is what Oktagon should do.
Mm-hmm. But in the end, they're selling out more and more shows. This show in Düsseldorf at Saturday is sold out. Yeah. Stuttgart almost sold out, and Dortmund selling really well. And we're in end of January, so this does not automatically means that the fighters are getting paid more, but there's more attention. You can get more or get better sponsorships in the end. So it's a slow process for in Germany a very young sport.
Yeah, I think slow process is the way to do it. Don't jump the gun and go out and sign 10 heavyweights. Mm-hmm. Maybe little by little build it up. and I think they're doing a good job. They're smarter than I am, lad. Otherwise, I'd have my own promotion.
You seem pretty smart in the end, but maybe there's some guys who know their business as well at Oktagon, and haven't they invited you to a show in Germany yet?
Yeah, they invited me to what was the show we went to, Alan? In Germany. What show was that? What city? Frankfurt. Yeah. It was when Lom-Ali fought Rishavi.
That was Stuttgart. That was Stuttgart, I think.
Yeah, so I was at that show. They had me cage side after Lom-Ali won, and I give him a little, but he didn't want to know. What can I say? He went quiet. Banik also fought the Afghan boy, Najid, is it?
Najad, yeah.
That was a good fight. I like him, he's good.
Yeah, a lot of people like him, yeah.
Yeah, I like him. It was a good card, and do you know what? The crowd was different. I wasn't expecting the crowd to be like that.
Mm-hmm. But up until your next fight is announced, there is no chance you visiting a Oktagon show in person in the next.
Ask Oktagon, brother. If Oktagon tell me they're gonna fly me out, I'll pack my bags now.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Would like to meet you in person one day. And in the next few months probably. You said you got 2 fights on your contract left, and if it does not work out with the UFC, fingers crossed you reach your goals in the future, of course. But we will see you a few more times at the Oktagon shows, which would I like to prefer, because I want to see you fighting live, and therefore I would say, Shem, thanks for your time.
Yes, lad.
Thanks for lots of information. Do you want to call out someone?
Everyone, you can all get it. Max Kolger, Conrad Dyrschka, Lom-Ali, Lafucha, Kater, Ronnie, Vamola, any of them, I'll fight all of them. Line them up.
I don't know if Imola is already cleared, but all of the other guys should be a really good matchup for the audience. If you're, if you think you're going to win, I want to see competitive fights, and
I don't know how to lose. That's the problem, brother. No one's taught me.
Yeah, it's your statistic says there's at least one guy who knows.
It's a lie, that. Don't listen. The lion's here.
Isn't that part of the documentary?
Nah, brother, it's all fake.
All right.
It's just for TV.
That's the AI and the progress.
Yeah, exactly, right. Bro. AI, right. Don't trust AI, man.
Don't trust AI.
Didn't you see the video on the Fucher and Buchinger kissing at the weigh-in? It's all AI, brother. Dodgy.
You've been there. You don't know if they did kiss or did not.
No, actually, I think that one was real. No, I think that one was real.
Yeah, well, there was love in the air. I know. That being said, Shem, thanks for your time. Hope we see each other in the future. And you will be a guest on my show. I would prefer live the next time. We will figure that out. I'm going to Brazil next week because
have fun, bro.
My wife is from Brazil. Therefore, it's like a family trip, and 40 degrees. This is
jealous.
No,
jealous.
I hate it. I hate the temperature. It's not my.
You hate it?
No, the country. I love the country, but the temperature is.
Don't like the. Nah, see, for me, the hotter the better.
Yeah, but
especially to train.
Okay.
Love it.
No. That's nothing for me, but maybe we can chat about Brazil the next time. And again, thanks for your time. All the best, and see you soon. Bye bye.
Go on. Stay blessed, brother.